Yes, thanks for joining me once again and welcome to round 5 of the Scottish Classic Motorcycle Club's 2019 Racing Championship, right here at Townfoot Farm in a very sunny Thornhill. Yes, welcome back and thanks once more for joining me as we take a look at the racing highlights from the Scottish Classic Motorcycle Club's Round 5 event at Townfoot Farm in Thornhill. Okay, to get things underway we have the combined pre-68 and pre-1970s class. Looks like the riders are just about good to go as Crean Bell, our race starter for the day, lets the bikes go. And it's a good start by Fergus Moody and Peter Dobinson on that lovely Rickman Triumph. So as they make turn 1, it looks like Fergus Moody in first position, Lewis Bell in second, followed by Liston Bell in third. So as they head to the downhill section of the track, it's Fergus Moody first, Lewis Bell second, Liston Bell third, Peter Dobinson fourth, Ryan Aird is there in fifth. And so as the riders come round to complete lap 1, it's still Fergus Moody first, Lewis Bell second, Liston Bell third, Peter Dobinson fourth. It's now Robert Kennedy fifth with Brian Aird sixth, Stuart Riddle going through there, Mike Bell. Number 51 is Ian Ridley and number 25 is Jake Whitelaw. But your current race leader is still number 122, that's Fergus Moody on the BSA, followed by number 9 Lewis Bell on the Jawa, also followed by Liston Bell on an identical Jawa machine. But here is your race leader. It's still Fergus Moody, number 122 on the BSA. It is now Liston Bell, number 98 in second position. Number 9 there is Lewis Bell on the 500 Jawa as they cross the finish line to complete yet another lap. And it looks like Liston Bell is now your race leader, but Fergus Moody cuts back inside. So it's still Fergus Moody first. Lewis Bell is now moved up into second position on that big number 9 Jawa. So there is your first and second placed riders. It's still Fergus Moody, number 122 on the BSA, leads Lewis Bell, number 9 on that 500 Jawa. So it's Fergus Moody first, Lewis Bell second, Liston Bell going through there in third, Robert Kennedy, number 54 on the Cotton Star Maker, Peter Dobinson, number 41 there, Brian Aird, number 71, Stuart Riddle, 164, and number 72 coming through there is Clifford Hardesty. Mike Bell also going through, and that's Colin Flockhart on that beautiful Shenny BSA. But here is your battle for the first, second and third place positions. It's still Fergus Moody fending off the advances of Lewis Bell and Liston Bell on those big 500cc Jawas, but it's still Fergus Moody, your race leader on the BSA. Lewis Bell looking like he's getting ready to line up a move on Fergus's BSA. So as they cross the line for the last and final lap, it's still Fergus Moody first, Lewis Bell second, Liston Bell going through on the outside but can't make it stick. It's It's an absolutely superb run here by Fergus Moody on the BSA number 122. Lewis Bell looks like he's lining up a move, and Lewis Bell takes the lead as they head to the downhill section of the track. But as they head towards the checkered flag, it's Lewis Bell number 9 on the big 500cc Jawa. Fergus Moody in second position, Liston Bell in third position. That looks like Liston Bell is going to steal that second place from Fergus Moody on this very last and final lap, but it's going to be a win for Lewis Bell first, Liston Bell second, and Fergus Moody in a very decent third place finish. And so as the remainder of the pack cross the line for this first race of the day. Number 72 there, that's Clifford Hardesty taking his BSA to a fine finish in this first pre-68 and pre-70 class race of the day. Okay, next up it's the turn of the pre-1975 class. Some very quick riders in this class. This of course is for bikes up to and over 250cc. As you can see, Liston Bell is lining up in this class once more. Look out for Stuart Roden. Some very quick riders in this class. Sam Sibbald, another rider to look out for. It looks like a race starter. Creena Bell is ready to let the riders go when she gets the 15-second board and 5-second board okay. So as they leave the line, it looks like a good start from Stuart Roden on the big CCM. Derek McCauley is up there on the Bultaco 250 Persang, but as they make turn 1, it looks like Stuart Roden is your race leader, Derek McCauley second, and Tommy Anderson in third position there on that lovely 250 Husqvarna. So as they head towards the first lap, it is still Stuart Roden from Derek McCauley from Lewis Bell in third. Coming through there, number 33 is Irishman John Griffiths on that brand new Joe Maxwell CCM. But as we start lap 2, it's still Stuart Roden on the CCM, your race leader. Second position man is Derek McCauley with Lewis Bell in third, Tommy Anderson in fourth, and Liston Bell in fifth place. So it's still Stuart Roden, your race leader, riding absolutely superbly in this first pre-75 race. Lewis Bell going through, Liston Bell going through, Tommy Anderson going through, John Griffiths going through, and number 24 there is Sam Sibbald, who appears to have some kind of problem with his roll-offs on his goggles. But your race leader is still Stuart Roden on the Alan Clues derived CCM bike. Derek McCauley going through in second on the Bultaco Persang. It's still Lewis Bell third and Liston Bell in fourth. But as they head towards the finish line to complete yet another lap, it's still Stuart Roden on the CCM, who has a decent lead from the second place man, which on the last lap was Derek McCauley, and Derek looks like he's being passed now by Lewis Bell. And so as we look to our race leader, it's still Stuart Roden on the CCM, leads Lewis Bell on the Jawa in second, with Derek McCauley on the Bultaco in third. Liston Bell is still in fourth, with John Griffiths on the CCM in fifth. But your race leader is still Stuart Roden. with Lewis Bell. Looks like he's making up a bit of ground on Stuart on this lap. Liston Bell third, Derek McCauley on the Bull Tackle in fourth. So as Stuart Roden begins his last lap of this pre-1975 class race. Stuart looks like he's got a very comfortable race lead in this first pre-75 class race as he heads down the hill for the last time. It's now Liston Bell who is your second place man. So it's Stuart Roden first, it's Liston Bell in second, and it looks like it's John Griffiths on that Joe Maxwell CCM in third position. But as they head towards the checkered flag, it is Stuart Roden in first. John Griffiths is now in the second position on that CCM. Liston Bell is in third on the Jawa, but it's going to be a win for Stuart Roden in first place, with John Griffiths second and Liston Bell in third. Okay, our next class on the line is of course the pre-1984 class, or the Twin Shock class as it used to be known in the past, but a decent lineup of 84 bikes for this event. Number 175 on the outside there, that's Colin Lee on 510 Husqvarna. Look out for Andy Malik in this race. David Houston is another rider to look out for on the Tony Kaig CR480 Honda. Jim Colligan, number 18, just taking up position there, but as Creena Bell gets ready to let the bikes go, it's a good start from David Houston there on the Tony Kaig bike. Steve Moore got off the line quite well, but it looks like it's David Houston on the Tony Kaig Honda who is your race leader after turn 2. Second position is Mike van der Meer, number 17 on the 81 Michael. Third is David Loudon on the YZ Yamaha, with Andy Malloch on the Montesa 414 Capra in fourth. But as they head towards you to complete lap 1, your race leader is David Houston on that ex-Scottish champion Tony Kaig's 480 Honda. Number 17 is Mike van der Meer in second. David Loudon is third. Andy Malloch is in fourth. Jim Grieve going through there is in fifth. Steve Moore, number 47, is in sixth position. And number 18 there is Jim Colligan on the 81 490 Michael. But it's still David Houston, your race leader. Mike van der Meer going through there is your second place man. Number 75 is David Loudon in third position. Andy Malloch is still fourth on the Montesa, with Jim Grieve in fifth position. But here is your race leader. It's number 82. That's David Houston on Tony Kaig's CR480 Honda. Second position is still Mike van der Meer on the 81 490 Michael. Third position is still David Loudon. But it's still David Houston in the lead from Mike van der Meer, number 17 on the 81 Michael. David Loudon on the YZ Yamaha in third. Jim Grieve has now moved up to fourth position, with Andy Malloch in fifth on the Montesa, as the remainder of the pack make their way around the track. Number 334 there is Kevin Smith on the Michael 250 Spider. But here is your race leader. It's still David Houston on that very quick 480 Honda. David seems to have a substantial lead over second place man, which of course should be Mike van der Meer. Number 17 going through in second, but young David Houston riding really well on this Tony Kaig Honda. And number 75 there is David Loudon. David, of course, was our club champion in 2018. David is in second position with Jim Grieve on the 81 490 Michael closing in. Andy Mallock is still circulating in fourth position on that very nice Montesa Capra. Jim Grieve looks like he's trying to make a move on David Loudon going down the hill, so Jim Grieve takes the second place position. But here is your race leader. It's still David Houston on the 480 Honda, your race leader in this first pre-1984 class race of the day. Second place position is Jim Grieve on the Michael. Third there is number 75 David Loudon on the YZ490 Yamaha, with Andy Mallock on the 414 Montesa in fourth. So we're looking at your second place man. That's Jim Grieve on the 81 490 Michael, with David Loudon in third and Andy Mallock in fourth. And so as we pick up our race leader once again, it's still David Houston on the Honda with a substantial lead over second place man, which is still Jim Grieve. So it's Jim Grieve in second position there, number 15 on the 490 Michael. David Loudon is still third, and Andy Mallock is still hanging on to that fourth place position on the Montesa. 7 laps, of course, for the pre-1984 class bikes at this Thornhill track. So we're looking at second place man Jim Grieve, number 15, from third place man number 75 David Loudon. But with one more lap to go, it is still David Houston on that very quick 480 Honda, who starts his last and final lap of this pre-1984 class race. It's still Jim Grieve in second place there, number 15, with David Loudon there in third. Andy Mallock is still hanging on to that fourth place position on the Montesa Capra. So as they all cross the line to start their last and final lap, it's still David Houston, your race leader, from number 15 here. Jim Grieve on the 81 490 Michael. David Loudon on the YZ Yamaha in third, and Andy Mallock on the Montesa in fourth. And so as your race leader heads towards the checkered flag for his first win of the day, it's David Houston on the Tony Kaig sponsored Honda, who takes the first win in this pre-1984 class race. Here is your second place man. It looks like it's going to be a runner-up spot for Jim Grieve on the 81 490 Michael. David Loudon is going to finish in third, and Andy Mallock will take that fourth place position. Okay, next up we're back to the combined pre-1968 and pre-70s class as the riders line up for their second race of the day. An excellent start from Peter Dobinson there, number 41 on the Rickman Triumph, as they all head into turn 1. It's Peter Dobinson with the early lead. It looks like Fergus Moody is making a move, and it's now Fergus Moody, your race leader, with Lewis Bell number 9 in second. Peter Dobinson is now third, with Liston Bell fourth, Colin Flockhart in fifth, Brian Aird in sixth. And as we look towards the far side of the track to pick up our race leader, it's still number 122 Fergus Moody on the BSA from Lewis Bell, number 9 on the 500 Jawa, as they head across the line to start their second lap of this pre-68 and pre-1970s class race. Liston Bell still in third, Peter Dobinson in fourth, Brian Aird fifth, Colin Flockhart is still there in sixth, with Robert Kennedy making a move. But there is your race leader. It's still Fergus Moody, number 122 on the BSA, trying to fend off the youngster Lewis Bell on the 500cc Jawa. Two very quick bikes here. Looks like Lewis Bell is making a move down the inside, and Liston is now looking to steal that second place position, but Fergus Moody has just dived through back into the lead. Fergus riding this BSA absolutely superbly today. So the experience of Fergus Moody has the two youngsters trailing him for that position, but it looks like Lewis Bell is now your race leader. Yes, it's number 9, Lewis Bell, your race leader from number 98. That's Liston Bell in second position. Fergus Moody looks like he's now moved down to third position. So Lewis and Liston on almost identical machines. Very, very quick bikes, these big 500 Jawas. Number 51 there is your track builder and all-round good guy. It's Ian Ridley. Ian, of course, responsible for the construction of this track and all the infrastructure, and we're very grateful to Ian's efforts at this Thornhill Scramble. But it's number 9, Lewis Bell, who is your race leader, from brother Liston Bell in second position as they start their last and final lap. It's still Lewis Bell in first place with Liston Bell in second. Sometimes you don't think that these two guys are brothers when they're racing on the track, but once these two guys sling their leg over these bikes, there's no brotherly love lost. It's win or nothing, so it's going to be a good battle to the end here. It looks like Liston's going round the outside. Looks like Liston has the advantage, but Lewis is holding on to that first place position. It's going to be a win for Lewis Bell first and Liston Bell in second. And that's Robert Kennedy coming through there, number 54 on the Cotton Star Maker. Now I don't know what's happened to Fergus Moody, who was in third place. There doesn't seem to be any sign of Fergus. Okay, next up it's the second race for the pre-1975 class. Remember, Stuart Roden won the first race of the day in this class, but as they leave the line, it looks like Stuart has another good start with Sam Sibbald in second position. So as they head to the bottom side of the track, it's still Stuart Roden first with Sam Sibbald second. It looks like Derek McCauley is up there in third position. And so as we wait to pick up our race leader, it's still Stuart Roden on the CCM in first position. It's Sam Sibbald on the TT 500 Yamaha in second. Third place is John Griffiths on that brand new Joe Maxwell CCM in third. Doing really well for its first time out on the track, this bike. Straight from the workshop of Joe Maxwell and onto the track. And it looks like John Griffiths has now moved up into second position, with Sam Sibbald now third and Derek McCauley in fourth. But there is your race leader. It's still Stuart Roden on the CCM in first position. John Griffiths on the CCM in second as they head towards the downside of the track. It's still Stuart Roden being hounded by number 33 Irishman John Griffiths. So as we look to pick up our race leader once again, it's still Stuart Roden from John Griffiths in second. John Griffiths looks like he's looking to make a move on Stuart Roden, but looks like John could have a problem with that CCM. He seems to be coasting. Yeah, looks like a retirement for John Griffiths, but there is your race leader. It's still Stuart Roden on that lovely Alan Clues CCM. Sam Sybil, number 24 on the TT500 Yamaha, is your second place position man, with Derek McCauley third, Lewis Bell in fourth, and Liston Bell in fifth. But as your race leader comes round to complete another lap and start his last and final lap, it's still number 20, Stuart Roden on the big CCM in first position. Sam Sybil is still there in second. It looks like Lewis or Liston Bell is now moved up into third position. So on the last lap, your race leader is still Stuart Roden, number 20. Second position, Sam Sybil on the 500 Yamaha. Third position is Liston Bell. Fourth is Derek McCauley, and fifth is Lewis Bell. But here is your race leader as he heads towards the checkered flag. It's Stuart Roden, number 20 on the CCM, from Sam Sybil, number 24 on the TT500 Yamaha. But it's win number 2 of the day for Stuart Roden on the CCM. Sam Sybil is going to take the second position, with Liston Bell in third. Okay, next up we're back to the pre-1984 class for their second race of the day. A good race in the first 84 class race earlier on, with David Houston taking that win. So as our starter, Queen Abel just waits for the OK from the 15-second board. As the riders leave the line, it's a good start from Andy Malak on that Montesa Capra. Looks like Andy Malak is going to take the whole shot. It's Andy Malak in first position as they come round towards the bottom section of the track. They'll pick up the rest of the pack, but it's Andy Malak on the Montesa in first position. Third position is Mike van der Meer on the 81 490 Michael. And so as we pick up our race leader, it's still Andy Malak on the Montesa Capra. In second place, it looks like Jim Colligan on Andy Malak's 83 Armstrong. Mike van der Meer there, number 17, is in third position, with David Houston in fourth. So as we pick up our race leader, it's still Andy Malak on the Montesa Capra in first position. David Houston is making a move on Jim Colligan on that 83 Armstrong. The Armstrong bike, of course, belongs to Andy Malak, but it seems that Jim seems to have had a problem with his 81 Michael, and Andy has loaned him his spare bike. But it's still Andy Malak on the Montesa, your race leader, from David Houston on the 480 Honda in second. Remember, David Houston won the first race in this pre-1984 class race of the day. Third place there is Jim Grieve, but it looks like David Houston has now made the move to take the lead of this pre-1984 class race. So your race leader is David Houston first, Andy Malak second, Jim Grieve third, Mike van der Meer fourth, David Loudon fifth, and Jim Colligan on the Armstrong in sixth position. And so there is your race leader. It is still number 82, David Houston on the Tony Craig 480 Honda. Jim Grieve, number 15, is in second position with number 43, Andy Malik, third. Mike van der Meer there, number 17, in fourth position on that very quick 81 490 Michael. David Loudon on the YZ 490 is trying to now make a move on Mike van der Meer. But it was still David Houston first, Jim Grieve second, Andy Malik third, Mike van der Meer in fourth, with David Loudon on the YZ 490 Yamaha in fifth position. But here is your race leader. It's still David Houston on the 480 Honda, who has a substantial lead over the rest of the chasing pack as he crosses the line to complete yet another lap. So it's still David Houston, your race leader, from Jim Grieve in second position. This is the battle for third position with Andy Malik third. David Loudon has now moved up into fourth position with Mike van der Meer in fifth. So this is your battle for third position. It's number 75, David Loudon, who is third on the YZ 490 Yamaha. Andy Malik is fourth on the Montesa with Mike van der Meer in fifth position. But your race leader, David Houston, is well down the road, so this is your battle for the third position between David Loudon, Andy Malik and Mike van der Meer. So there is your third position man, David Loudon. Andy Malik is still in fourth position, but it looks like Mike van der Meer has just taken that track position. But here is your race leader. It's still number 82, David Loudon on the 480 Honda. Second place man should be Jim Grieve as he makes the turn on the 490 Michael. Looking for our third place man coming through. That is number 75, David Loudon on the YZ 490 Yamaha. Mike van der Meer there, number 17, looking to make a move on David Loudon for that position. But this is still the battle for third position. It's David Loudon, number 75, from Mike van der Meer, number 17 on the 81 490 Michael. Andy Malik is still there on the Montesa. But here is your race leader. It's still that man, David Houston, who has a very comfortable lead on that 480 Honda as he begins his last and final lap. So here is your third place man. It's David Loudon from Mike van der Meer in fourth position. Mike van der Meer looks like he wants to take that third place position from David Loudon and has done. So the current race positions are David Houston in first position, Jim Grieve is still second. This is the battle for third position between Mike van der Meer and David Loudon. But here is your race leader as he comes round to take the checkered flag in the second pre-1984 class of the day. It's another win for David Houston on the Tony Craig Honda. Second position looks like it's going to go to Mike van der Meer in that second place position, with David Loudon going to cross the line in third. Okay, we're back to the pre-1968 and pre-1970 class for their third race of the day. Race starter, Mrs. Queenabel, getting into position there. That's a good start from Peter Dobinson once again on that Rickman Triumph. But as they head into turn one, it looks like Peter Dobinson has got the advantage over Fergus Moody, but Fergus Moody is already making that move to take the pole position. So it's Fergus Moody, number 122 on the BSA, in first position. Second place is Peter Dobinson. Third place looks like it's Mike Bell, as they all head to the bottom section of the racetrack. But here is your race leader. It's number 122 Fergus Moody once again, as he leads. Liston Bell in second position, Peter Dobinson there in third, Lewis Bell in fourth, Mike Bell in fifth, Stuart Riddle in sixth position, with Brian Aird in seventh. Just going through, number 143 is Stevie Shaw on that Twinport CZ. But as we look to pick up our race leader, it is still Fergus Moody, number 122 from Liston Bell, in second position, number 98. Third position is Lewis Bell, number 9. Fourth is Peter Dobinson, with Mike Bell in fifth. But it looks like Liston Bell is now your race leader on the big Jawa, with Fergus Moody second. Lewis Bell is in third position there, number 9, as they head round to complete yet another lap in this third pre-1968 and pre-70 class race. And so it's still Liston Bell, your race leader. We are looking at the battle for second position between Fergus Moody, number 122, and Lewis Bell in third position. Remember, Fergus rode superbly in that first race of the day, but was unfortunately overhauled late in the race. But here is your race leader, number 98. That's Liston Bell. Second, Fergus Moody, number 122 on the BSA, but looks like Lewis Bell is now making a move for that second place position. So your race leader is still Liston Bell. Second place is Lewis Bell in second, with Fergus Moody in third. Going through there is number 164, that's Stuart Riddle on that lovely Twinport CZ. Looks like Stuart is making a move on Peter Dobinson for track position here, as they head to the bottom section of the racetrack. But here is your race leader. It's still Liston Bell, number 98 on the big 500 Jawa, who is your race leader, as he crosses the line to start his last and final lap. Second place position should still be Lewis Bell. Here is your race leader, looking very comfortable in this race. It's number 98, Liston Bell. So as we wait for the rest of the runners and riders to come through, that is in the blue there, that is Mike Bell, followed by Stuart Riddle on the Twinport CZ. Number 41 there is Peter Dobinson on the Rickman Triumph, and number 71 is Brian Aird. But it's going to be a win for Liston Bell. There is your second place man, number 9, Lewis Bell. But as they head towards the checkered flag, it's going to be a third place position finish for Fergus Moody on that BSA. So as the remainder of the riders make their way towards the checkered flag, that's Peter Dobinson going through on the Rickman Triumph, followed by Mike Bell and Brian Aird. So that's the third pre-68 and pre-1970s class race. Okay, next up we are back to the pre-1975 class for their third and final race of the day before the lunch break. Remember, look out for Stuart Roden, who won the first two races in this class previously. So as they get ready to go, it's a cracking start from Callum Wilson on that little CR250 Honda Elsinore, but as they move into turn 1, it looks like Stuart Roden is your early race leader in this third pre-1975 class race. So as they head to the bottom section of the track, it's Stuart Roden first, Liston Bell second, Tommy Anderson in third, Sam Sybil in fourth, with Lewis Bell in fifth. And so as we look to pick up our race leader once again, it's still Stuart Roden on the Alan Clues CCM, being hounded by number 98, Liston Bell. Third position is Tommy Anderson, fourth is Sam Sybil, fifth is Lewis Bell, as the remainder of the pack make their way through to complete lap 1. So your race leader is still Stuart Roden, being hounded by Liston Bell on the big 500cc Jawa. This looks like it could turn into a really good battle to the finish line between these two very quick riders. Sam Sybil is still there in third position. Looks like Lewis Bell is now moved up into fourth, but it's still Stuart Roden, holding off the advantages of Liston Bell on the big 500cc Jawa. Two very quick riders and two very quick bikes, of course, but an almost definitive age gap between Stuart and the youngster Liston Bell. But it's still the very experienced Stuart Roden holding off the youngster Liston Bell in second position. And Liston looks like he's trying to make a move down the inside, but Stuart shuts the door. But it's still Stuart Roden, your race leader, in first position. Liston Bell is still right there in second position as he makes a move round the outside. Stuart turns the gas on and opens the big CCM up to keep that first place position, but as they head to the turn, it looks like Liston is going to dive down the inside, but Stuart closes the door and retains that first place position. Now this looks like it's lining up to be a grandstand finish to the finish line, but it's still Stuart Roden in first position from number 98 Liston Bell, who takes the lead of this pre-1975 class race. But as we look towards the race leaders, it looks like Stuart Roden has now regained that pole position as they head towards the finish line. But it's still Stuart Roden, your race leader, from Liston Bell, who unfortunately overcooks it on the corner and has dropped back ever so slightly. So your race leader is still Stuart Roden as he starts his last and final lap of this pre-1975 class race. So there is your race leader, Stuart Roden. In second position, it's still Liston Bell, who is already starting to make ground up on Stuart Roden in this last and final lap towards the checker flag. It's still Sam Sybil in third position. Number 54 there is Robert Kennedy on the big Alan Clues CCM as he crosses the finish line to start his last and final lap. But here is your race leader. It's neck and neck as these two head towards the checkered flag. It's Stuart Roden on the inside. Liston tries to go round the outside, but certainly not the finish that Stuart would have liked in this race. But nevertheless, a cracking race for this third pre-1975 class race. So it looks like it was a win for Liston Bell from Sam Sybil in second position. Okay, our last and final race in this part 1 video from Thornhill. We have the third and final pre-1984 class race before the lunch break. Number 43 on the outside there, we see Andy Mallock on his 83 500 Armstrong. Now look out for riders including David Houston, Jim Grieve and David Loudon in this race, who did really well in the previous two races in this 1984 class race. And a race starter, Queen of Bell, just waiting on the OK to make sure all the riders are behaving themselves. But looks like Steve Moore is keen to get going there and trying to jump the start line. Looks like we're all good to go again. So as they leave the line, it's a good start from Colin Lee on that 510 Twin Port Husky. But as they head into turn one, it's Andy Mallock on the 83 500 Armstrong, who is your race leader, from David Loudon, number 75 on the YZ4 and 90 Yamaha. In third position, it's David Houston. Fourth position, Jim Grieve. In fifth position, it's Colin Lee, as the remainder of the pack make their way to the bottom section of the track. But here is your race leader. It's number 43, Andy Mallock, from David Loudon, number 75. 82 is David Houston. Number 15 is Jim Grieve. Colin Lee going through there, as the rest of the runners and riders make their way through to complete lap one. But it's still Andy Mallock from Burrelton in Perthshire, your race leader. Second place man now is David Loudon on the YZ Yamaha. David Houston is in third place with Jim Grieve on the 81 490 Michael in fourth. So Andy Mallock is still your race leader on that very quick Armstrong motorcycle. Second place there, number 82, David Houston on the Tony Kaig Honda in second position. As we cross the line to complete another lap, it's still David Loudon in third with Jim Grieve in fourth position. But it looks like David Houston has now made the move to take that pole position from Andy Mallock in second position. David Loudon is still third with Jim Grieve looking to make a move on the inside. Jim Grieve now moves up to third position. But here is your race leader. It's still David Houston on the Tony Kaig Honda. Second, Andy Mallock, number 43 on the Armstrong. Third is Jim Grieve there, number 15 on the 81 4 and 90 Michael. Looks like Jim Grieve is looking to make a move on Andy Mallock for that second place position as they head into the turn. It's still David Loudon in fourth position. Jim Grieve going down the inside of Andy Mallock, so it's David Houston first, Jim Grieve now second, with Andy Mallock in third position. But there is your race leader, still riding superbly. It's number 82, David Houston, who could be heading towards his third win of the day as he completes yet another lap here at the 2019 Thornhill Classic Scramble. So as we look back to the remainder of the runners and riders, that is Steve Moore, number 47 on the Michael. Just behind Steve we have Mike Doby, number 27 on the CR250 Honda. And so as we look towards our race leader, it's still David Houston, number 82 on the Tony Kaig 480 Honda. Andy Mallock, number 43 there, is in third position with David Loudon in fourth. Mike van der Meer going through, number 17 in fifth. But here is your race leader once more. It's still David Houston, number 82. Jim Greaves should be your second place man, just coming into shot now. So there is your second place man, number 15, Jim Greaves. Andy Malik should be your third place position rider, number 43, with David Loudon there, number 75, in fourth. Now as I look to the far side of the track, it looks like David Houston has a problem with his 480 Honda. I see his parked track side there trying to restart the bike, so your new race leader will now be Jim Greaves, who has just went through. Second place is the man you are looking at the moment, number 43, Andy Malik, with David Loudon in third place position. There you see David Houston trying to fire up that 480 Honda. But there is your race leader as he comes round to start his last and final lap. Could it be a win for Jim Greaves, number 15 on the 1981 490 Michael? So it's your race leader there, number 15, Jim Greaves, who is your pole position man in this third 390/84 class race of the day. Second position, Andy Malik. Third, David Loudon. So as we wait for our race leader, there he is, Jim Greaves, as he completes the turn. Oh dear. That looks like Jim has dropped his bike on the corner. So if Andy Malik comes through in second position, this could be a win. This could be a win for Andy Malik, but I see David Houston is now closed right up. This could be a battle to the checkered flag, but it looks like it's going to be a win for Andy Malik from David Houston. And David Houston locking up the back wheel of that 480 Honda.
This video was brought to you in association with World Sport, the world's #1 supplier for all your off-road and leisure sportswear. Just visit their online website for more details.